Hello family, my name's Phineapoo and welcome back to another Phineapoo Phorsees. This is week 3 of the NFL season that we are coming into here. I am doing an update for those of you who are on my fantasy team and for those of you who are just coming in to kind of hear an outsider's opinion on who's going to win the different games of the week. Now I did miss last week since I was on vacation and I did miss some pretty good games, but I did pick up on my week 1 record. So I did write down on a list here after I did the video, not smart of me, after I did a video of what my record was. And I'm actually a perfect 500 right now. I've got 7 games right and 7 games wrong, and it was kind of interesting to see how close I was on some of them. I was only a few points off on some of them. Some of them I was totally off the charts wrong on, and obviously I'm not perfect. I'm human, and I don't know what's going to happen in a game exactly that's going to happen in the future. But we are going to be doing predictions on the backside. I'm going to write it down so that it's easier just to pick through and just check next time instead of listening to my entire video through again. But without further ado, here is week 3 of the NFL season. We are going to start it off. We already had Thursday Night Football. Again, I missed it. I'm sorry. I'm the worst. We're working on it. We already had Thursday Night Football with the Texans taking on the Patriots in New England. However, the Patriots walked all over the Texans. Total shutout. Literally, it was a shutout. 27-0. Patriots won. Let's see. Next up, we actually are going to start with the predictions here. Starting Sunday night with the Cardinals versus the Bills. Now, with a good showing this last week, I believe the Bills... Did the Bills win? I'm trying to remember. That's what you get for predicting things wrong. No, I think the Ravens won. I'll have to go back and look eventually. But I think... Let me click on the matchup here. Let me just go right through the matchups and stuff like that. Bills have lost 2. Arizona Cardinals are 1-1. Looking at the recaps of previous games, it's been a seesaw. Swinging back and forth. Big wins both directions. I think the Cardinals have it this time around. It seems like the Bills are off to a pretty rough start. I think the Cardinals have this one pretty much in the bag pretty heftily. We're going to say 31-24. 31-24, I'm going to say Cards win it. Cards. I'm writing it down as we speak so that I've got the predictions for next week. Next up, we have Raiders taking on the Titans. Both are 1-1. And it looks like the recaps, again, swing back and forth, but a lot closer than it looks like the previous matchups have been with the Cardinals and the Bills. So let's see if we do the seesaw action here. Again, I'm just kind of clicking through these, trying to make the video a little bit shorter. But I'm going to say the Raiders will win this one against the Tennessee Titans, even though I'm a Mariota fan and that he does his work on the field. I'm going to say that, I can actually click over here and see. Yeah, the Raiders definitely will have it. Their defense stinks right now, but their offense is the best in the league. So I'm going to say the Raiders are going to win this one. Let's say 24-10. 24-10. Raiders win it. Raiders win it right now. Next up is the Redskins versus the Giants. This is going to be an interesting matchup because the Giants seem to be a pretty balanced team, while the Redskins seem pretty offense-heavy and not as good on defense. So I'm going to say the Giants will take this, especially with their 2-0 record, with the Redskins being 0-2. Now, it's pretty early in the season to really have a good prediction on what's going on, but that's what I'm going to say. Giants are going to have this one. It's going to be a lower scoring game. I'm going to say it's 17-7. Giants winning this one, so I'm going to say Giants and write it down. Next up is the Browns at the Dolphins. Both crappy teams this season, it seems like. On the rushing side of things, though, it looks like the Browns are pretty good. And the passing side, Dolphins are pretty good. But other than that, they are crap this season. Both are 0-2, looking for their first win. One of them is going to receive that first win. Who I think it's going to be, it seems like the rushing game seems to be a little bit better and more of an importance this season. So I'm going to say that the Browns will have it based on the rushing game, especially with thunderstorms in the forecast. I'm thinking that the Browns do better in the weather. I don't know. Just spitting out random stuff at this point because I really don't know. I've been a week or so off, and I've missed a lot of football. So who knows? I'm gonna say Browns win it. In the weather. I mean, Miami, it's sunny and stuff like that. Well, I guess they're getting thunderstorms and stuff like that. Browns would be used to it. They're in a rainier part. So I'm going to say the Browns will perform better in the weather. Weather will be a factor, though. Ravens, Jaguars. That's going to be very interesting. Ravens have one solid defense this season. And that's going to help them out a lot in this game. However, they're going to have to go up against the passing offense of the Jaguars. So, be interesting. Ravens are 2-0 with the Jaguars being 0-2. I'm going to say the Ravens will have this one. They'll keep on their winning ways. If I can spell Ravens correctly. There we go. Ravens will have this one. Pretty interesting. Oh, I didn't even say what the Browns would be. Let's say Browns, that will be a close game. I will say 28-24 on that one. But Ravens, Jaguars, this will be an interesting matchup. Very high scoring. Well, somewhat high scoring, I'll say, because the defense of the Ravens is pretty rock solid. Let's say the weather ranking. Again, they're predicting thunderstorms. Well, they're in Jacksonville, and Miami Dolphins. Yeah, they're close to each other, so they'll have similar weather. What am I thinking? Why am I even paying attention to the weather? I'm trying to look at stats here. But we're going to say that it's going to be the Ravens winning this one. We're going to say, we'll put a wacky score in here, 22-16. 22-16, that will be the final score for the Baltimore Ravens Jaguars game. Lions, Packers. This will be an interesting one. They're both 1-1. We are going to say all the games for these two teams are pretty close. So I'm going to say they're close again. We're doing seesaw action. Lions will actually be able to hold off the Packers in this one, but not after some fighting. Final score will be 28-26 on this one. 28-26. We're going to say the Lions win it. I've got faith in you, Lions. Come on. Faith. Next up is Broncos versus Bengals. We got the Super Bowl winning team taking on the Bengals. We got 2-0 Broncos taking on the 1-1 Bengals. I'm going to say Broncos are still riding high. I believe that their team is very well built. In fact, I think I've got, if I remember correctly, I've got the Broncos D on one of them. I think so. I think I've got the Broncos D on one of the fantasy teams that I'm on. Not sure. Not sure. I'll have to go back and check. But I'm going to say the Broncos will win this one. I'll write them down here. Broncos will win this one, and they'll win it decently against the Bengals. I'm going to say 30-20 on that game. So next up is the Vikings versus the Panthers. Vikings are 2-0 this season. Adrian Peterson is doing work in the backfield for the Vikings, taking on the Carolina Panthers and the Crybaby Newton. Yes, I'm still going to call him the Crybaby Newton, even though they're doing well. I'm going to say that as much as I hate it, the Panthers are going to win this one because they are the Panthers, and they are a very well-built team. Don't get me wrong. So Panthers are going to win it. Very well-built team. I'm going to say they're going to win it decently by a couple touchdowns. I'll say they win 21-7. Let's see. I could be dead wrong on a lot of these, and I usually am, but we'll see. Los Angeles Rams taking on the Buccaneers. Both teams 1-1. This one's going to be interesting. It seems like the Rams take it to the Buccaneers pretty well, especially in their last few matchups. So I'm going to say that trend will continue, and the Rams will win this one. Let me write it down here. And I'm writing everything in ink, just so you know, on red paper. So I'm not going to be changing it anytime soon. So I'm going to say the Rams are going to win this one in a very hard-fought battle. I'm going to say they win 20-17. So that's my prediction there. Next up, the 49ers taking on the Seahawks. Both 1-1. It's interesting to see what will happen here because this is a rivalry matchup. It's going to be very bitter. I'm going to say, though, that the Seahawks, they've very much beaten the 49ers in their last few matchups. Very heftily, like 29-13 in their last matchup, 20-3 in the matchup prior, and then 17-7 in the matchup prior to that. So I'm going to say that this continues. It's pretty much a beatdown every time. So I'm going to say that the Seahawks, with Russell Wilson leading the way, are going to take down the 49ers in a very high-scoring game. I'm actually going to say this one's a high-scoring one. It's going to be closer to 35-33 is going to be the final. So Seahawks have it. I'm trying to make this quick. Hopefully it's quick. I'll see how much time is on the clock when it's all done. New York Jets taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Jets are doing well this season, even though they're both 1-1. They've suffered a loss each. I'm actually going to say on this one, let me go back and review some of this stuff here. It looks like the Jets are doing very well passing, rushing, just an offense overall. They're 4th in the league. Their defense is suffering a little bit, but Kansas City is balanced is the thing. Kansas City is a very balanced team. They're like right in the middle for everything in the NFL. So I'm going to say offense is going to win this one for the Jets, and it's going to win it. It's going to win it. Very close matchup. I'm going to say 24-21. Jets win it. Okay. Next up is the Chargers taking on the Colts. This will be interesting because both their defenses suck this season. Chargers are 1-1. Colts are 0-2. So it'll be very interesting to see how this works out. Last few matchups, it looks like the Chargers have taken down the Colts. And so that's what I'm going to say because it seems like it's a pretty consistent marking. I'm going to say the Chargers take it down in a brutal beatdown, similar to their 2010 matchup. And I'm going to say it's going to be a 35-17 final. Chargers winning it. Okay, next up is the Steelers taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia. This is going to be one heck of a matchup. As much as I am a Steelers fan, Eagles have the better team, I think, this season. They're both 2-0. So it'll be interesting to see who suffers their first loss. I'm going to say the Eagles win this one. As much as I'm a Steelers fan, I think the Eagles are going to win this one. Not by much, though. It's going to be one of those shootouts. I'm going to say 27-21. We'll just say that. 27-21. Eagles winning it. And then the last one that I'm going to do, Bears, Cowboys. Bears defense is awesome. Everything else sucks. Whereas the Cowboys are just kind of right down the middle in the league. They're normal. Bears are 0-2. Cowboys are 1-1. Bears offense, because it sucks so much right now. Oh my gosh, it sucks really bad. I'm going to say the Cowboys are going to take this one pretty easily. But you can bet by the next week they'll lose another one. They'll keep that perfect 500 going. So we'll say Cowboys. Cowboys will win it pretty easily. I'm going to say this one's actually going to be pretty close to a shutout. I'll say that the Cowboys are going to win it 17-3. Now the last matchup. This is where you come in. For those of you, let me know in the comment section who you think is going to win in this matchup. We've got the Atlanta Falcons taking on the New Orleans Saints for Monday Night Football. Let me know in the comment section what you guys vote will be my prediction. The kind of the fan vote and stuff like that. I will not be predicting the last matchup or like a very big matchup. I will be letting you guys pick. So let me know in the comment section. I didn't get one for last time, so I didn't put it onto my record. But if you guys do predict down below, I will put that into consideration. And now for an update on the fantasy football standings, what we got going on right now. So we'll start with yes, I did put the 2 leagues as Phineas and Ferb. So in the Phineas League, we got Team Phineapoo, that's my team, who's a perfect 2-0 right now. I can't do anything about it. I'm letting everything go. We pick the players and they play themselves. So I'm not cheating in any way, shape, or form. Just putting that out there. But Team Phineapoo is 2-0 right now. We got Quebec, Canada's Peace at 1-1, as well as Team Jake Peter. And then we got Space Turtles that are 0-1-1. They have 1 tie and 1 loss. And then Team Harvey that is 0-2 right now. On the other side, on League Ferb, we've got somewhere over Dwayne Bowie, who is a perfect 2-0 right now. We got Team Perez that's 1-0-1. They've got 1 tie and 1 win. Team Wank that is 1-1. Team Sniper that is also 1-1. And then Kanger DB456 that is 0-2. So it's going to be interesting to see how everything turns out. It's very early in the fantasy football season, but I will be interested to see how everything turns out. So we'll see you next week for another Phineapoo Phorsees for week 4 of the season, where I will let you know what happened with the predictions for this week, which are right here, and where I'll predict week 4 of the football season, the NFL football season. And I will also update you on what happened in our fantasy league in this past week as well. But thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like button, subscribe. Also go onto my Facebook page because I typically post there before I do anything on stream. Again, thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'm Phineapoo, and I'm signing off. Take care, everybody.